Are you reaching your full potential? Today I want to dive into the thought about, am I truly getting to my full potential? You know, that God-given potential in your business, your income, your home life, your relationships. Are you really getting to that untapped potential that you have? I want to speak to you today about this idea that I see so many of us struggling with. And it's that idea that we are wanting success, and we may have reached some success, and we're really feeling called to it, but we want more. And we desire it. And it's that kind of thing that keeps us up at night. You're not a victim, and you're not that kind of person that's thinking everything is going wrong and poor you. But you still are struggling at times, and you're trying to do it all. You're really working hard. You're hustling. You're doing all that stuff, but you feel like you're hitting a glass ceiling. That we as entrepreneurs can get that feeling, right? You keep feeling like, I can't quite get there. And you know, there is more. And if that's you, we're going to talk about that today, because it's this idea that we're doing it by brute force, that we're hustling and we're trying hard to push our success into existence, to push our relationships into existence. And when we're trying to work at it that way, we're feeling limited and we're feeling like we can't get there. And in reality, especially women, we're trying to grow business and trying to do all the things. We're sacrificing things that are super important in our lives for the idea that once I arrive to, six figures or, 500,000 or 1 million even, once I get to this place in my business, then I will have this definition of success. Then I can show up for these things with my kids and my family. Or then I can have these moments, or then I can decide to do this. But those moments are slipping away. And if you're like me, and a lot of the creative entrepreneurs I talk to in this boat, you have this push and pull, this back and forth. When you're working, you feel like you should be at home with your family. Or when you're with your family, you feel badly because your mind starts to wander and go to what's happening at work or how you want to do this or that in your business. It's all the things going on at work instead of being present with your kids or your partner. You're at cheerleading practice with your daughter and she's running over and saying, Mommy, did you see what I just did? And you can't say yes because your head was in the phone checking the email, that you could respond to that client. And it's these moments. There's so much urgency to leaning into our untapped potential, to truly start crafting and creating a successful blueprint. And the good news is you actually have access to that. And I talk a lot about that here. You're going to see it. Your brain wires and fires success. And the difference between those who are living a limitless life with that limitless income and that limitless business growth and that limitless time and energy, and those who feel limited are capped. There's not enough time. You don't have enough energy. You aren't where you want to be financially. You're not finding the business growing the way that you want it to. And if you've ever been in that place, I've got great news for you today. This untapped potential that you have, there is a systematic, strategic success system operating in your mind that you may not have connected with yet. And so what I would like to do with this video today is that I want you to slow down. And I want you to take this as a speed bump, essentially. I want to have you start to create what success looks like for you. Because so many people are running and doing all the things. Taking care of the house, taking care of their partner, taking care of the business, answering their clients. We are all trying to do all the things. and we're on that treadmill running as fast as we can. And at the end of the day, we can feel drained, empty, and there's not enough of us to go around. And that was never the life that you were intended to have. You were intended to have a life full of abundance here and in the next life. God says he comes to give you life and life to its fullest. So that means you have an abundant life inside of you. And that operating system is there to tap into it. However, if you are like most of us, we aren't taught to access it. And honestly, the way we were taught is more of an outside in kind of perspective of success, where you have to ask for permission. And I mean, think back to school. We had to raise our hand to ask if we could go to the bathroom, right? We had to ask if we had to go pee. Just being blunt here. But when you have to go, you have to go. But you had to raise your hand and say, may I go to the bathroom? So, I understand why this was put to us this way, so don't get upset if you're a teacher. It was something that they had to do to keep the classroom from going into chaos and students just deciding they were going to get up and leave class. But what it did, though, is it taught us that we have to ask for permission, that we need validation from the outside in order to feel successful. If we get the grades we want, we feel like we've arrived and done our job. If we don't, then we feel like a failure. Well, no wonder. When we hit the goal, we feel great. And when we don't, we feel like a failure. We've been indoctrinated into this way of thinking, the outside in kind of model of success, and it's broken and it doesn't work. It leaves you tired, exhausted, and not really reaching that full potential where you can be. And you probably know you're in it because it's what I call that stop-start cycle. We fall into this if we fall into that stressed success kind of model. We all start this business and we all go we all go all into this thing, figuring out how to design, how to do what you're doing, watch a bunch of videos, buy a few courses, sign up for workshops or retreats, follow a bunch of different influencers or gurus in the creative field, get your business started. And then it happens. You hit that roadblock because, again, we're looking for someone to tell us we are doing it right, or great job, it's working for you, you're doing it well enough, you're okay, you're expert enough, you're legit. If you're growing a business or something bigger than you currently have, there's no one that is there saying you're good. So you look for that. You can't find it, and so we hit a speed bump and just stop. Well, and some of us go into perfectionism, and we decide, we're going to start working on something for the next few months and pour everything we have into it. And then there's some of us who procrastinate. There are all kinds of release valves for these different things. But what we do then is say, well, that didn't work. Maybe I should start doing this. And we start looking for a different strategy or tactic or way we do business and decide to go in a different area of business maybe. We stop and start. We stop and we start, just going round and round on the hamster wheel. We're tired because we're never getting anywhere. We're doing things and crossing things off of our list. And if we're honest, we're nowhere closer to the life that we want to live, and we are nowhere closer to the success that will make us feel like we have arrived. So I want to be that speed bump for you today, but maybe shift things drastically for you. So hopefully today's the day that you can look back and say, because of listening today, you started to lean into your true potential. You started first defining what an unleashed, successful life looks like. You've been on this hamster wheel for so long that you deserve to get off of it. Take a step back and say to yourself, what does success look like for me? For me, in the domain of family and life now, means showing up for my husband and for my mom, who is at that age where she needs help. Or being able to go and visit my grandson and help my daughter and her husband. It means having a life that I can be in charge of while working and helping other creative entrepreneurs have a life that they want too. And when I am working or spending time with family, it means that I am fully present. Not wishing or wondering or looking into what I needed to do or somewhere else. Truth be told, I love working in my business and on my business. And I love doing what I get to do. It lights me up. My definition of success is being present and being available. When I start thinking about my schedule and my plan and what success means to me, I have to stay true to a certain cutoff time each day. I get to look forward in my week and build out the time that it will take to work on, what I get to do for my clients and for my business growth. There's that lie that we've been told, and I lived it for many years in my business. We have to work harder, work longer, and success will be owed to me. And if you have believed that lie too, then you have untapped potential waiting within you. Because that lie, work harder and harder and harder. And if that were true, you would already have all the success that you need in your life. If the lie, work harder and eventually that it will lead you to success, was a truism, you would have already had your successful life. You would have limitless energy, time, money, business growth, all those things would be firing. But it's not. And it's not true. And in terms of your mind has to see it to believe it. Your brain was wired in a way that the reason you're missing that secret, that you're going and stopping and starting with different strategies, the reason that you're doing that is that you're trying to get an answer to the wrong question. You're trying to say, what is it that they do that creates the success? What I want you to start to think about is, what are they thinking about what they want to create, and are they leading with that? And it's different from what you were taught in school and other courses, but it's the key to everything. It's like having a Maserati or a Tesla or a Hummer, whatever that car is for you. It's like having that Maserati parked out in front of your house and it's brand new and it has your name on the license plate. And the keys are on the kitchen counter right next to the keys for the golf cart that you have. The golf cart is parked right next to it. And you have a golf cart to get around for what you've done. And what do? You instinctively pick up the keys to the golf cart because you don't think about using the Maserati to go about town. You're literally using a little golf cart out on the highway. It's the way you've always gone about getting around the neighborhood. So why not use it for the longer distance, you're thinking? How fast are you going to get there? You have it working hard to get to your destination because it only has 2 gears, drive and reverse. And the speed is set, and so you're going really slow. So slow. You didn't even recognize the keys to the Maserati were sitting on the counter right next to the golf cart keys. And you didn't even realize that you could take the machine, that Maserati machine, and get on the road faster, take advantage of the machine that it is and all that it has to offer you to get to that destination on the highway. That your ride could be so much more than you had imagined. And you've been driving in first gear. And that's your brain too. Your brain, the way you wire it, it is an operating system that you've had the keys to since you were born. But you were never taught how to unlock that. And that's what I love to get to do, is to teach you how to get into that Maserati that is your mind and define success for yourself and start to define that strategic success system that allows you to unleash your true potential. I want you to listen. That's what I want you to hear today. What is it for you in terms of your business? Now, I'd love for you to take a moment and write down when you're at the top of your business ladder. I want you to imagine this. And you'll know what that is for you, right? What is that for you? Write it down. And it may be a number. And if it's not, then write down what that is. But then I want you to take the number and write that down. And you know what that impact goal would be too. So I want you to write that down. It's that I've done it goal, right? You hit the top peak of what you want to achieve and the full potential of your business. And do you know what that looks like? Have you written that down before? So I want you to start with that. So start with that blank piece of paper and write down what it does. What does it look like when I arrive at success in my business? How many clients are you serving? What kind of impact are you making? Get that so crystal clear in your mind that there's no possibility for interpretation to slow you down. I want you to think about every single detail in that. And as you're writing that down, I want you to imagine you're there. You're at the top of that peak. And you've created that success as it is defined for you, that certain dollar amount that you've written down, and that certain impact goal that you wrote down. And guess what? When you hit that certain goal, it changes. So this is a habit, a practice, a way to level up from this potential to this potential to this potential and beyond. Stuff that you can't even see yet. What is that for you? What is that for your health? You know, research shows in a journal that someone showed me the other day, it's like at the age of 40, you start losing stamina and muscle mass at alarming rates. Well, I'm past that, and I want to be able to keep up with my 18-month-old grandson. So that wakes me up. I want to be able to do things with him and create those moments. That is what successful life is made up of. For years, I missed out on so much because of what I deemed as successful. And I want you to experience that full potential in your business and reach the success that you want. So again, what is success for you? What is limitless success for you in health and relationships? What is it for you in how you spend your time, your energy? What is it for you in that environment that's around you? What is it for you in your business? The list can go on. And we need to create that blueprint for our mind to access by writing down what we want. What we do is have that untapped potential, and we're limited. We're reactionary, and again, it's not your fault. We've been conditioned and indoctrinated into it, so we react to our environment. There's an urgency here because the longer you don't do this, and the more you put this off aligned with the indoctrination of this world of you can have it all. But in order to have it all, you have to be a raving lunatic and never be present for your family or be healthy. You have to drink all the time, coffee in the morning, wine at night. Wow, we have to press pause on that narrative, that toxic narrative that we've all been indoctrinated into, and really pick up the keys to the Maserati and say, I know I was given an operating system to operate this, and start to learn how. And it begins by creating this success blueprint. Your brain has to believe in it in order to see it. It cannot get there without stopping long enough and slowing down and saying, what does a successful life look like? What does it look like when I have stepped into my true God-given potential? And I'm not letting any of my potential in any of my areas of life be untapped. What is it in terms of finances, impact, freedom? Where do you want to spend your time? How do you want to spend your time? With who do you want to spend your time? Energy. How do you feel when you wake up every morning? How do you want to feel throughout the day? What is it in terms of the relationships that you have? What do you want them to look like? Are you married? Do you have kids? How do you want your life to look like when it comes to time with them or interacting with them? I knew that I wanted moments with them, and I didn't want life to pass me by anymore. And I wanted a marriage to be one where there was passion and support and common goals. And we weren't just checking off the boxes and falling into bed at night exhausted. That requires slowing down to define that and creating for your brain a blueprint that will start to propel. The blueprint is like the key. It starts the ignition to the car. However, there are steps that you have to follow in order to get it on the road and start driving to your true potential. So today I want to call you forward to living a successful life and to start defining what success means for you, not what it means for the florist down the street or the designer who seems to have it all together or the person that you're looking up to, but what it means for you. The moment that you've arrived, you're there. What does it look like in those big sections of your life? You know, the energy, the relationship, the business success, the time, the money, the freedom. What does all of these look like for you? Have you slowed down enough to show your heart and your mind to things that you want to do and have, where it is that you're going? It's like hiring an architect to build your dream house. And he didn't show up with a blueprint and just started to build. He hired different people on the team, the electrician, the plumber, the HVAC, the construction worker, and just told them, go. And no one had anything to go on. And they were just all doing their own thing, building your dream house. The architect didn't give them any instruction. No definition of what the dream house looked like. There wasn't any blueprint to follow. No image of the structure, where the rooms would be, where the kitchen would be, and what it would look like. They wouldn't know what to do. It would be mass chaos. But as entrepreneurs that are building a business that we love, we just start working and designing because it's what we've been taught to do, and it's what we love to do. And your brain and truly your full potential doesn't align with that broken strategy. Because that's the old way of doing things, right? Hustle, 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 and work hard, and maybe you'll earn success someday. And you will sacrifice so many things along the way. You miss that opportunity to truly step into your full potential, that limitless life. You go from no energy to vibrant energy. You go from struggling to get to that next event or sale to it coming in effortlessly. It comes naturally to you. What is that definition for you? And I want to challenge you today to start that process of unpacking it for yourself. Start to craft your success blueprint so that when you add your unique fingerprint to it, the work of how do I do this? A clear map, a clear image, a clear blueprint will appear and start to come to life. You can put the key into the Maserati and start it up. I definitely want to share it with you today. And if you're listening to the podcast, in the show notes, I have a Success Unleashed 2-day event coming up, and where I will break things down for you and get you started for your new year. Using a blueprint for that unleashed success that is just waiting for you to step into it. Make sure that you get onto the list to join, and have a blessed day. Know that you are given peace and an abundant life, and it really is up to you to create the business and life that you really want and that mean the most to you. So until next time, keep your eye on the success you want. Bye for now.